Gary Gensler and the SEC just got completely exposed, and it is ridiculous. And we have been talking about this for a little bit of time, but guys, I keep telling you, you need to focus on what's happening right now around the SEC, because in just a couple months, we are going to see a few changes happening around the SEC, in my opinion. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. If we take a quick look at this, we have SEC DeFi platform, Rari Capital, charged with acting as unregistered broker, misleading investors. It's funny that the SEC is claiming that investors are being misled by these platforms and by, crypto companies, when the SEC, which is an acting government agency to allow investors to safely enter markets, has been misleading those same investors for years now. It's wild. But we continue to see crypto get attacked by the SEC. We continue to see this industry being, targeted and in the crosshairs of, an agency that, in my opinion, is acting radically. But outside of this, we also have over here, House Subcommittee saw heated debate over the SEC's crypto approach. More so talking about how the fact that, they really aren't doing anything. During the heated hearing, Dazed and Confused, breaking down the SEC's politicized approach to digital assets, there were sharp exchanges between Republican and Democratic representatives over the future of cryptocurrency regulation in the United States. We're against the SEC enforcement, abuse, and making it hard for legitimate actors who are trying to follow the rules to do a fine job and bring innovation and technology to our markets. We also have another quote down here that if anyone is playing politics, it is the crypto industry. So again, there's a back and forth here. And we also have, while most of the digital asset space has collapsed, it's well known what remains is used to facilitate illicit finance or illegal activity. That's the problem here, right? A lot of these people that are talking about crypto that are in Congress, majority of them don't actually understand how the technology works. And the same goes for even the SEC as well. You can clearly see it whenever someone like Brad Sherman, for an example, is talking about crypto. When we heard Brad Sherman literally say that crypto bros print money out of thin air, and so does the US government, but it's the US government, so that makes it totally fine. That's when I knew for a fact that these individuals in Congress know nothing about this technology. But also remember that Brad Sherman, along with a lot of these major politicians, they're pro-bankers. A lot of their donations come from major banking organizations. So when we really think about what's being, pushed here, a lot of these discussions that we have and a lot of these discussions that we hear, we really have to focus on who's backing these individuals. How are they getting their campaign money? And a lot of it is coming from the bankers. So when we hear these strong opinions that are very negative against crypto, we have to think, is it because that's what they think? Or is it because that's what someone is telling them that's giving them money? And this has always been a big thing that we've talked about on this channel. But also over here we have Reptor SEC invented crypto asset security out of thin air. But guys, they could do that because they're the US government, right? But no, seriously, as we really think about this, yeah, they basically did. I mean, there hasn't been any 100% fact that any of these crypto assets are securities. Zero. There has been zero clarity, zero transparency on that. The SEC can't even make a strong argument on what a crypto asset security actually is, which I find just comical because it's been well over 4 years now since they launched the attack on Ripple, as well as a few other players in this space. We also have US lawmaker accuses the SEC of enforcement abuse against crypto firms. Also, SEC's crypto record rebuked by ex-commissioner. GOP lawmakers in hearing as well. And yes, the SEC has been losing major cases along this entire time frame. We have to look over our shoulder left and right because of this regulatory uncertainty. This is arguing that the agency has deliberately ignored a legal authority that would have allowed it to engage in some initial rulemaking even before Congress weighs in. Ultimately, it will be up to Congress to rectify the Commission's failure to act to register both tokens and platforms and to provide clarity for those which do not require registration. Only Congress will be able to truly provide the necessary long-term regulatory clarity for digital assets, but nothing is stopping the Commission from moving now to provide tailored relief that allows firms to register even if provisionally and continue to innovate in the meantime. And you know what's funny about this? More recently, we talked about there was a bill, and the bill outlined a completely new agency that would be comprised of, the TradFi regulators, but also players from crypto. That is something I 100% support. We can't have Congress act on this. We can't have the SEC act on this. We need a completely different agency. Nothing is getting done. Nothing has happened in the last 4 years. We need something to start rolling the ball down the hill, because right now, nothing is happening around crypto and crypto clarity. We also have over here, it's time to update the SEC's disclosure process for crypto. And this was from Cointelegraph. This is right around the same time the hearing, because at the end of the day, we have many of these issuers and crypto digital assets have characteristics for which Form S1 may technically require information that is not relevant or applicable. This approach is problematic because it neither facilitates capital formation nor protects investors. Consideration should be given to allowing variances from Form S1 for crypto digital assets, similar to given for fund and insurance products and other securities products. And yeah, listen, at the end of the day, there's nothing here. There's nothing here for crypto. Crypto is a completely new asset class. So the fact that the SEC has been applying these laws to a new asset class is just ridiculous to me. And they even say that, oh, the laws are there. What laws? There's no clarity on anything. There's nothing that these crypto firms and these crypto projects can even follow. That's why when we look at what recently got pushed on September 13th, which we did talk about in a video from the CLO of Coinbase, the SEC regrets any confusion it may have invited. Remember this, right? This is the SEC. This is the agency that says that the laws are so clear. Everything is clear. There's transparency in these markets. You could follow it. You can come in and register with us. But we have heard from so many major companies in this space, including Ripple, of course, that it's not that easy. They have tried to talk to the SEC. They've tried to meet with the SEC. They completely get denied. But then FTX gets the green light. What is going on here? Again, I always say that there is a big game here that's being pushed and played by the biggest players out there, the incumbent bankers, the politicians that are paid off by these bankers. They want to paint this industry as a very bad, it's a scam, you need to stay away from crypto, we need to, control this space. It's all about control. That's why when we look at FTX, I told you guys that FTX was a planted seed in this space. Why did FTX get the green light? Why was FTX becoming one of the biggest names in the space by buying up all of these major these major sports arenas and having their name everywhere? Everyone knew about FTX. You had celebrities doing, commercials around FTX. Again, the SEC greenlighting them. FTX grew significantly to become one of the biggest names in the space, and it was all with the help of these regulators, with the help of these politicians. And do you ever wonder why? Do you ever wonder why FTX became such a big success while Coinbase and Binance and all of these other exchanges get completely targeted and thrown down the stairs? It's because they wanted FTX to be so big so that when it collapsed completely, they had an example so that they could use to say, this is why crypto's bad. We need to control the space. It's all a political move to give those that they want the power, aka the big bankers, Wall Street. It's all a power play. Now check this out. We have the SEC regrets any confusion it may have invited. Confusion was their main strategy. For years, the SEC used crypto companies over existing securities laws they knew didn't work, and then refused to comment on any further information regarding the details of these lawsuits while continually claiming the laws were clear. Would it even have been possible to create more uncertainty in these markets, or was it literally their goal? Check this out.
I think there's been clarity for years. I'm not going to speak about one. I'm not going to speak to any one matter. I'm not going to get into any one company or one token. But I can't speak about any possible investigations. And I'm not speaking to all the other tokens. But I'm not going to get into any one filing because I'm not going to talk about any one of these tokens. I can't speak to any one case or any one situation.
Could you speak to the Ethereum issue?
I'm not going to go into any one set of conversations between the agency and a company. Not want me to speak about any one set of facts and circumstance. And the laws are clear. The law is clear. I think the law is clear. I think there's been clarity for years. I'm not going to speak.
So there you guys have it, right? Oh, I think everything's clear. I'm not going to talk about it though. I'm not going to talk about it at all. Like, what kind of ridiculous statements are these? Remember, this is a government agency that taxpayer money funds every single year. Now, also, we have from the Ripple CLO. Watch as Stuart Alderati takes a blowtorch to the SEC. They've been sanctioned by a court for outright visiting a fraud upon the court. The question is not why are they doing what they're doing, it's why they still have their jobs. And I'm telling you guys right now, it is because they are being funded and they are also a part of the incumbent regime that wants to push control in the right direction so that they can control the space, they can pull the strings and get even wealthier off of the space. Check this out.
I don't think the SEC has established itself as the leading regulatory voice on crypto around the world. I travel the world, as I'm sure everyone else does. I meet with regulators in Singapore, in the UK, in the EU, in Brazil, in Dubai. The SEC is not mentioned. And in fact, I think that this administration has done tremendous harm to the credibility of the organization as it looked when Dan served as a commissioner. That's my mom is here. Good. But think about it. They're a self-appointed cop on the beat. The statute has not. No law has appointed them the cop on the beat. In our case, they've been called out by a judge for not faithfully applying the law. In your case, they've been called out by a judge for acting arbitrarily and capriciously. In the debt box case in Utah, they've been sanctioned by a court for outright visiting a fraud upon the court. The question is not why are they doing what they're doing, is why do they still have their jobs? And I think the rest of the world has moved on. They recognize the value of the technology, the jobs, the tax dollars, the innovation that it can bring to the economy. And they want to create a framework where the technology can prosper while we protect consumers, protect the integrity of the market, and keep bad actors out. That's what they're interested in doing. And they have moved so past the US and so past the SEC. I worry that I don't know if we can ever catch up at this point.
And this is a big problem. But the number one thing that I love to focus on is the companies and the projects that are at the forefront of regulatory clarity once it happens. When it does happen. We don't know when it's going to happen. But we are focused on that when it comes to this channel. And talking more so about this, you know, Stuart Alderati, the CLO that was just talking there from Ripple, he already said that Ripple will be the most trusted source for enterprise support when regulatory cloud is lifted. And yeah, it's because these companies, they want to work with regulators. They have been, trying to work with regulators for the longest time. The problem is that we have an agency that's supposed to be working with these companies, but instead they meet with these companies in private, then utilize the information that they give them against them. This is why I say, why was FTX, let in? Why did they let FTX get as big as it was? The signs were so clear. There was individuals from this space that were warning everyone around FTX for a while, yet nothing was done. The SEC greenlit them. How the hell does that happen? This is why I say it's a deliberate move on the SEC side to paint this space in such a negative light so that they can control these markets, control this technology. It's all a terrible, elite regime being pushed by these agencies, and it goes all the way up the food chain. It's not an SEC problem. It's a much bigger problem. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.